1,025. An average of 43 children are diagnosed with cancer every day in the United States, and that number drastically changes when you look worldwide. Fighting on the front line for hope and change is the Pediatric Cancer Research Foundation with their various events and funding research. And coming up on August 28th is their annual Rod Carew Children's Golf Classic. I've invited Jeri Wilson and Hall of Fame baseball great Rod Carew to join us today here in the studio to discuss the importance of what they do and how you can help make a difference. Jeri, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Nice to be back.
Rod, it's nice to have you back on the show.
Thanks very much, Rick. It's great to be back.
Let's start with you, Rod. Can you tell us how you first got involved with the Pediatric Cancer Research Foundation?
Well, my youngest daughter had leukemia, and I remember Doug the Sensei talking to me about getting involved because he was involved. And I thought about it for a while, and I said, yeah, okay. And this was 21, 22 years ago, and I'm still with it. You know, I promised Michelle that I would do everything that I could while I was alive to help other kids get saved.
Great.
And so that's what we're doing. So when we save a child, that's my child that I'm saving.
That's awesome that you made the commitment and you've stayed true to it all these years. And Jeri, I know from knowing you the impact that Rod has had through this golf classic. This is the 22nd year, and he's raised over $4 million through this event.
He has.
Which is awesome. Thank you very much, sir. Tell us a little bit about you and the Pediatric Cancer Research Foundation, Jeri.
Okay, so I actually was looking at my calendar when I was coming here. I am celebrating my 6th year with Pediatric Cancer Research Foundation, and I've worked in Orange County for many years at Chalk Children's Hospital of Orange County, and then up in LA at Miller Children's. And you know, my passion has really always been around working with kids, and many, many years ago when it was Rod's first tournament, I was actually invited to attend.
Wow.
And so I kind of felt like it was coming home when I took this job over and getting to work with Rod. And when he says he made a commitment to Michelle, he's made a commitment to her that he's stood by, and I've seen him make the commitment to many other children along the way. So
right.
It's a job for him, but it's personal, and I've seen him go above and beyond what a lot of people would do for these kids and for their family, and it's very touching.
Well, I know from just the conversation that you both were having in the studio before the show that this isn't the only event and activity that Rod does in support of Pediatric Cancer Research Foundation, which is fantastic. What is it that PCRF does, Jeri?
So we've been around for 35 years, and we solely exist to fund pediatric cancer research. And we are a foundation that comes in a time of need because at an all-time low of the NIH and other corporations giving funding to pediatric cancer research, if they don't get the money from us, from different events like this and different fundraising activities that we do, the money's not coming in. So if you're looking at the national budget and less than 3% is coming from those sources, we've got to do something, and so we've got to take a stand, and Rod and I are committed to this, and we stand shoulder to shoulder to raise this money, not just one day a year, but 365.
Did I hear you say that just 3% of the funding that goes for the research comes from the government?
Correct.
And so the rest is raised through organizations such as yourself?
Organizations such as mine, and we are a granting organization, so we put out a RFP for grants every year.
Right.
And we perennially have somewhere between $25 and $35 million worth of requests for funding, and last year we hit an all-time high of $2.9 million of monies that we brought in.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So
congratulations.
Thank you.
yeah, and it's, you know, it's my favorite day of the year to grant that money out, but 2.9 of 30 million,
right.
I've got a gap that, you know, there's more money to do. My job is not done yet.
Right, and these are all valid research projects that could
yeah.
move the needle on various forms of cancer that afflict children.
They are, and what's really neat about our foundation is we've definitely expanded across the country. So we don't just fund here in Orange County,
right.
but one of the things that we've kind of found is a sweet spot for us is funding emerging researchers. And about 15 years ago, we funded a couple of key researchers that were working on buzzwords that you hear now about immunotherapy. And you hear about a lot of CAR T cells and re-engineering your own DNA. And there's 3 or 4 researchers Dr. Lawrence Cooper, Dr. Michael Jensen, who's up at Seattle Children's, who have gone on to really make a difference in the world and change the way we treat children. So, you know, funding these people many, many years ago wouldn't have happened. They wouldn't have launched on the national research scape to do what they're doing now. So we're really proud of that.
Right. This money is enabling this breakthrough technology and
Absolutely.
changes. That's awesome. When you were here just about a year ago. You were in August 2016, and then you and Rod were here on the show in August of 2015. So we're celebrating our third annual appearance for Pediatric Cancer Research, because I love to have great organizations like yours on before a major funding event. And clearly the Rod Carew Children's Golf Classic is a major funding opportunity for Pediatric Cancer Research Foundation. So let's turn our attention to this year's event. And from your perspective, Rod, what do you expect and what are you looking forward to on the 28th?
Well, I think the key thing that I've seen over the years is that we get a lot of the same people coming back to play in the tournament. And that means something to us, that we're doing something right. And speaking to these people, these individuals, about caring for other people and trying to help other people is very important to me. You know, it's you can't ask for any more. And they look at it that they're helping to save their own children.
Right.
Something ever happens to them, and that's why PCRF is here. You know, that we can all join together and continue to make these kids grow up and realize their dreams and live fruitful lives.
Right. That's got to be very difficult to see young people who are in the hospital suffering from these afflictions.
I tell you, you know, when I went to Chalk Hospital, and one day I was going down on the escalator, and this little 6-year-old Hispanic girl looked up at me and said, "God is going to kill me."
Oh my gosh.
And I just like, you know, that shook me.
Right.
You know, I looked at her and I says, "God's going to save. He's going to take care of you. While you're here, you're going to see a miracle." And sure enough, you know, she was able to leave the hospital, and I don't know, she might be how old today, but it ended up being a good experience for her and her family.
Wow, you gave her hope too, probably by...
Well, you know, it kind of got to me. You know, it's like someone taking a knife and stabbing me
Right.
in my chest, and just to look on her face, and here she is going down the elevator with her pole, you know, pulling her medication, and just going downstairs to walk around and be with the rest of our family.
Cancer is terrible when it afflicts anyone. I would think, Jeri, it's even doubly difficult when you see these young, beautiful souls that are...
It is, and Red and I have talked about this. We've spent a lot of time together with families, and I will say for me the hardest part is the parents. The kids are just mad that they can't get outside and play.
Okay.
They're so resilient.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, Bumbles bounce back, and these kids are just let me go. And where Rod and I, what really touches us is when you see the parents tearing up, or you see them just fear. You just see this fear in their eyes. And Rod and I are parents. We're all parents. And, you know, that if we can take, on the research side and on the business side, we have a job that I have to do administratively. But the great part about this is we do get to spend time with these families, and we get to know them. And we've had some wonderful experiences with these families. You know, when you've got an 80-90% survival rate on most cancers right now with less toxicity, Rod and I get to spend more time with these people. And that's what makes it special. Yeah,
and listening, reviewing your previous appearances here on Critical Mass Radio Show, I was struck by the progress that's been made in the time that PCRF has been around in helping children, both the survivability and the time it takes to get them off the medication or through the treatment process too, which is awesome.
Right, and you know, less toxic chemicals, and really being able to target not only the cancer but the area means the kids are out playing, back in school, less critical damage as they're growing. You know, you're treating a child that you're affecting growth plates, you're affecting hearing, seeing, like everything. They're in their growth stages. So the less we can treat them and really engineer these things for them, it's win-win-win for everyone.
So it is an honor to have you both here in the studio for your third appearance, Jeri, your second appearance, Rod. And we're going to take a very short time out here on Critical Mass Radio Show. We're going to come back, and I want to continue the conversation about the work that you're doing, Rod, and this upcoming event, as well as how people might be able to get involved in PCRF. But first, here's a short commercial message from me.
Richard Franzi is the author of 2 popular business books for CEOs. His first book, Critical Mass, The 10 Explosive Powers of CEO Peer Groups, was the first book ever written on the secret value of CEO peer groups. His second book, now with newly updated information, is Critical Mass, The Power of CEO Guiding Principles. Richard's books contain powerful information to help CEOs running middle-market companies gain valuable insight to improve their decision-making skills. Richard's books are available as paperbacks or Kindle versions from Amazon.com. To find them, type Richard Franzi in the search box.
And welcome back to this edition of Critical Mass Radio Show and Podcast. I am your host, Richard Franzi. All our shows can be heard anytime on iTunes, Stitcher, Spreaker, iHeartRadio, several hundred former guest websites whose CEOs have appeared on our show. You know, since we started this program in 2009, we've reached several 100,000 listeners through our live stream, podcasts, and other channels. Simply type in Critical Mass Radio Show in your favorite podcasting software to be able to receive our weekly interviews with great people like Jeri Wilson and Rod Carew. Rod, I want to ask you about your involvement in the Donors Network. Could you explain what that is and then sort of your involvement with it?
Well, the Donors Network is getting people to get involved and donate marrow or platelets and things like that, and help these kids. Mm-hmm. The more people that we get involved with going and getting tested, the more of a chance we have of saving the lives of these kids.
And how does someone get involved with the Donors Network? I mean, I'm sure you could just Google it, right, and find the organization. And
you can Google it. There's a big outlet in the Twin Cities in Minnesota.
Okay.
And I think if they talk to the people there, they'll give them all information and how to go about going out and getting tested.
And you can do it
like
anywhere.
Okay, you can do it anywhere.
Yeah.
Anywhere you hear this voice across North America. That was an issue that you had mentioned with your daughter, finding a match based on, because it's based on nationality and heredity, etc.
Right. And I took it up as going out and telling people, that are pregnant to save the
cord blood.
The cord blood,
right.
Because that's it's clean, very clean,
mm-hmm.
and it helps.
Wow.
I talk to ball players about doing the same thing. You can afford it,
mm-hmm.
And if you don't use it for your own child, you're going to give a child a chance of living.
Wow.
So I'm still involved in Minneapolis.
mm-hmm.
Whenever I go into the Twin Cities, I go over and I walk around the building and talk to people, and to me it's an important thing, that I do it. I received a Roberto Clemente Award for things that you do within the community.
Yes. Hey, I'm from Pittsburgh. I know Roberto Clemente.
Yeah, it's not for getting a trophy on the field
right.
or getting a base hit on the field, but it's what and how you touch the life of your fellow man, as we would say, and I enjoy it. When Jeri and I talk, we talk about helping people survive, and how important it is, and you can make the difference in the life of a child or a grown-up.
Mm-hmm.
So,
isn't it awesome, Jeri, to have someone who can lend their reputation, their fame to a worthy cause, such as the golf event?
Yeah.
If people would like to be more involved, maybe contribute to PCRF, maybe attend an event? Tell me a little bit about what are some other ways people can get involved in your organization?
So our website is www.pcrf-kids.org. All of our events are up there. The event calendar is there. We always need money. Cash is king. But we also...
Go for it.
Yeah.
Don't be shy.
Write the checks here.
You got the microphone.
Cash is life.
Yeah, cash is life. There you go.
Right.
He's right. But we need volunteers. We need board members. As we continue to expand, one of the things that, we have to focus on is we have our core events like the Carew Children's Golf Classic that we are never going to get rid of.
Right.
But millennials want to do something different, and millennials are playing a big role in funding organizations, and how they do it is very different than, let's say, someone of my generation has done over the years. So we definitely are changing our foundation to be more nimble and build different platforms. It still takes a team, and last year when Rod was unable to attend the event, it was the first time, and he had a very good excuse for not being there. I remembered him asking me, Jeri, are we still doing the golf tournament? And I said, well, I don't know, Rod, you're not going to be able to make it. Are we doing it? And he looked right at me and he said, have you cured cancer? Well, I've been waiting for this. And I said, no. He said, then you're doing the golf tournament. And I'm, amen, let's go.
Right.
So it's a team. We're a team. And Rod not only speaks for my foundation, he's done things for Leukemia Lymphoma Society, for bone marrow. We're all one family. It's a collaboration. And when cancer hits a family, it doesn't just hit the child. It affects everyone, from mom, dad, siblings, work. It affects your entire life. So we're a team here, and this team's not going away till we find it. With Rod's spirit, he instills this I can do. And so if you go to our foundation and want to support any one of events we have an event same day in Vermont, all the way down to Rod's tournament across the country. We have about 15 events. Or we have a platform called The Power of One, and you can do a fundraising platform in your own shape and form, whatever that might be, from a bake sale to a restaurant opening. One of the things we're really excited about right now is a program we have called Dine and Donate. And if you go on our website, we're hosting it on September 27th all across the country. Go to your favorite restaurant, ask them to give back that night. Harmless, painless philanthropy. Go dine and have a great meal, and ask the restaurants to give back, and a portion of your bill will be dedicated to PCRF.
And that's September 27th?
September 27th, Dine and Donate. All the information's on our website, pcrf-kids.org. I highly encourage you guys to take a look at it. And again, the golf tournament this year with Bank of America Merrill Lynch title sponsor, it's just, we're sold out. We're oversold, which is a nice problem to have.
That is a nice problem to have, and it's a beautiful course, right? Pelican Hill. People would come from out of state, maybe out of country to play that course.
We have another guy coming back from Baltimore again to golf this year.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's great. So PCRF has been around since 1982?
Correct.
Dr. Mitchell Carew started it?
It was actually started with some patients that had been treated by Dr. Carew.
Okay.
And a lot of those families are still involved with the foundation. Actually, one of the first bone marrow transplants that Dr. Carew did all those years ago, he'll be attending the golf tournament this year. So really coming full circle.
That's awesome. That's inspiring. We have a few minutes left here on Critical Mass radio show and podcast, and we're talking with Hall of Fame baseball player Rod Carew, and we're also talking to the executive director of Pediatric Cancer Research Foundation, Jeri Wilson. Jeri, what do you see? Okay, so you're this far into it. You had a record year last year. You've got momentum. You're a national organization. You're funding across the country. What's your appetite for as the executive director? Where are you taking the organization?
Well, what I'm most excited about is we have, much like working with Rod, brings a great deal of respect to the foundation. We are a very highly rated and respected charity on Charity Navigator. And for the past 4 years, we've got the highest rating, which is 4 stars. And people are coming to us for funding now. People are coming out. They find us because Charity Navigator is the Yelp of charities, and they can look us up and they can see, we are very good stewards of our fund. We have a very small staff. We work on a very shoestring budget. And we do that because we have a very dedicated team. Rod knows them all well. He'll come and sit and have lunch with us, and everyone's passionate about it. So what I'm excited about is we've got a great board that's really involved, coast to coast. Could use a few new ones, but we're always looking for new board members. Always.
Yes, if you're a business executive out there and you'd like to get involved, this is PCRF is looking maybe for some people.
And not only, am I excited about the research that we're funding, but about the people I can go out and attract to come as a board member, as a volunteer, as a sponsor. I can show you an ROI as a sponsor. This is a good investment of your money. Not only is it the corporate thing to do, but it's a great, Rod addressed it earlier, it's a great tournament. It's operationally well done, and people want to come back. We've got some people that have been coming for all 22 years.
Wow.
That speaks volumes to not just who Rod is, but who the tournament is, and my predecessors, what a great job they've done.
Yes, this is great, and thank you for being willing to come back.
Always.
3 years to talk about this. Rod, before I end the show, I hope you don't mind, but I just want to ask you, how you doing? How you feeling? You're looking good.
I'm doing great. I went through a journey that I don't want anyone else to go through, but I found a heart, good, strong heart, and he's always with me. So he's helping me also with the pediatric golf tournament, and we have a lot of things that we need to do. And when I put my name on something, I just don't want my name on it. I want to help. I want to participate, and that's what Jeri, and the staff allows me to do. So I feel real close to all these guys that are working so hard to help save some of these kids.
Well, and I hope you don't mind me saying this, but you had a near miss, right, sir? I mean, your health. You're here today for a variety of reasons, not the least of which somebody was looking out for you, I believe.
So many people that I heard from. The heart transplant and the kidney transplant were great. I feel like God has given me a second chance at life to continue to do His work. So I'm going to take advantage of it.
Right. Well, I wish you both nothing but the greatest success for this year's event. It sounds like it's set up to be a record breaker for both PCRF and as well as just for your Charity Classic event.
And, Rick, we'd just like to thank you for continuously donating your time and helping us raise funds, because this is what shows like yours do. You come in, you talk about it, and you get more people involved.
Yes, let's hope. Well, Jeri is a member of our critical mass learning community here in Southern California. She's a valued member of the community, and the work, we used to joke in the peer group that she is now a member of, when they were talking about a thorny issue, they'd say, well, we're not trying to cure cancer here, just to lighten a moment for a second. And then once Jeri joined, we said, well, we can't say that anymore because she is trying to cure cancer. So I want to thank you both for your time today. It's going to be a great event, and I guess I'll see you next year.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Back on the Critical Mass Radio Show.
And she's great. She works hard.
She does.
That's one thing I can say. She really works hard.
And the results show it, right? Record year last year in donations and contributions, and hopefully you'll be able to.
Takes a team. I have a great team.
You do have a great team. I've
have a great
had
team.
the pleasure of being in your office, and can't wait to see your new offices here in Orange County.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm going to thank Paul Roberts, who's the engineer for today's show, and our producers, Joan Park, Crystal Nunnally, and Haley Stern. If you'd like to connect with me on social media, my Twitter handle is CEO Peer Groups. On LinkedIn and YouTube, I'm Richard Franzi, Franzi. And on Facebook or my website, I'm Critical Mass for FORbusiness.com. And until our next show, I hope all of your business decisions will move your company in a positive direction.